welcome to Dream TV. I'm Dream, your humble host. So, this is going to be my review of Clash of Champions. As we can see, I have watched it. I have done everything I normally do. And this is just my review of each match. You know, what they did. I think they did good. Things I did bad, which is, in my opinion, the match of the night. And which one was not so high up there. Okay. So to get this started, we're going to go ahead and start with the kickoff show, which was Mojo Rawley versus Zack Ryder, with Mojo Rawley picking up the win. I liked the Hype Brothers, the Hype Bros. I liked them. Always did like them. I think that I don't know. I liked Mojo. I like Zack. I've always loved Zack. I always thought he was underused. He's a jobber, but I think he's underused. I think he could be better. He could be any United States or Intercontinental title, holder. I think that those titles are meant for people like Zack Ryder. People like The Miz and Roman Reigns. Those titles should be won early in their career and then forgot about. Like, they shouldn't even worry about ever going back to those titles. Those titles should be for people like Zack Ryder, who has a ceiling, a really low ceiling. Like, Zack Ryder, will never, ever, ever be World Heavyweight Champion. Never. He just won't. But he could be United States Champion. He could be Intercontinental. Matter of fact, he has been an Intercontinental Champion. But when it comes to this match, I like how he got really fierce with Mojo, and he gave him 2 broski boots. I thought that was excellent. I thought that was a really good way of showing his intensity. And what I would have loved to have seen was kind of a makeup at the end. Like, yeah, okay, so Mojo Rawley got the win, but he showed Mojo something that Mojo didn't see. That's what I would have liked to have seen, but it didn't. I think that's a better way of going about it. Of maybe saying I like you. You showed me that you had something. Maybe we're not ready to be a tag team anymore, but we're still friends. I still got your back. I still, that kind of thing. But we're done as a tag team, and let them go upon their separate ways as individuals. But you have to have something for each one, or why did you break them up in the first place? That's kind of where I was going. So I think that they just broke them up because there's too many tag teams. And honestly, this is one that I don't think should have been broken up. I don't think Adrian English and Rusev should have ever got together. But they didn't have anything for Rusev, didn't have anything for English. English is a better tag team partner, so pushed them together. So that's that. Then we had Clash of Champions itself. This is another one of those what the hell happened here for the United States Championship. Baron Corbin versus Bobby Roode versus Dolph Ziggler. How in the hell did Dolph Ziggler ever get in this match? I mean, first Bobby Roode was feuding with Ziggler. Then Ziggler wanted to feud with Baron Corbin. Bobby Roode wanted to feud with Baron Corbin. Bobby Roode earned the shot. He got his shot. And then at the last second, Dolph Ziggler's like, "Oh, I'm in it too, by the way." And then ends up winning it. I mean, come on. There was no build to that whatsoever. And then, of course, Baron Corbin was the one to get pinned. So Bobby Roode's going to be like, "Well, you didn't pin me. You pinned him, but you didn't pin me. I deserved the shot." And Baron's going to, "I want my shot. I want my rematch. He stole it," that type of thing. I can see, it's kind of harder to see. But I don't know. This is the one that I actually got wronged. I actually thought Bobby Roode was going to win this match. But unfortunately, Dolph Ziggler did, and I was wrong. That's where my one loss came in. Okay, so what they did do good is I think that the ending was cool. I just think the wrong person won. Um, so yeah, they did a lot. The no real proper build up for that match is what they did wrong for that. Because I don't think anybody really cared about that match. I mean, it didn't. I mean, now if it would have just been Baron Corbin versus Bobby Roode, it could have been something. But I still think Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler are in their little feud. But then you have New Day versus Usos versus Chad Gable and hold on, Shelton Benjamin and Rusev in English. Rusev in English. English needs to stop singing. I mean, he can sing, but I don't like that type of music, and it drives me crazy. So he needs to stop singing. I actually had the Usos winning this the whole way. There were a few times where I thought Rusev and English were going to win it during the match, especially when they had Big E in that submission move, and you can see Xavier Woods going, "Don't tap, don't tap, don't tap." Um, Loved it. I loved the beginning, how they kept trying to pin each other. I and I'll even give it this: them using Rusev and Gable and English and Benjamin as kind of working on the other two teams, but not really fighting each other. It's a way to take the baby faces out of it until the end, you know. Um, Good match. Actually, very excellent match. However, to me, it wasn't the match of the night. It was probably maybe the third match, maybe the best you could give it a second. But it was up there. It was a really good match. I loved it. Women's Championship match came in next, and that was Charlotte Flair versus Natalya in a lumberjack match. One of the better SmackDown women's title matches I've seen in a while. Um, the commentary itself was probably one of the better things here, um, with Byron Saxton and Corey Graves. That would probably have been, to me, that was one of the funniest things. Um, the match itself was good, but I think it the commentary made it better. Um, but yeah, one of the better women's title matches I've seen in a while. At least on SmackDown. Then you came in with the Bludgeon Brothers against Breezango. We all knew that this was going to be a blow apart. Breezango never stood a chance. I would have liked to have had after Breezango lost, the lights go out and the Eye of Ra shows up in the middle of the ring. That would have been awesome. That's it. Just the Eye of Ra, just right where there's right where the Bludgeon Brothers are standing in the middle of the ring. In the middle of the ring, right between them, like they're standing on either side of it, and they're looking at each other, and right in the middle shows in white light, just the Eye of Ra, the one that the Ascension used on their uniform, their tights. That would have been awesome. An awesome way of starting a feud between the Bludgeon Brothers and the Ascension, and bringing the Ascension up as the team I always thought they should have been. They should have been like what the Bludgeon Brothers are now. I always thought they should have been like even like the new Ministry of Darkness. Even bring back the Undertaker as their manager or something similar to like that, or maybe the Gangrel. That would have been something like that. That would be awesome. However, they didn't do that. They kind of pushed away. But that's what I would have done. I think that would have been better on that. Now, then we get to the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn versus Randy Orton and Shinsuke Nakamura with the two guest special referees Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan. I did this on Twitch. I had one person saying that they hope Kevin Owen wins, and the other one said they hope they lose. How you doing, Chase? And I just sat here and went, Kevin Owen and Sammy's gonna win, and of course they did. And that it's gonna be because of Daniel Bryan, and it was. But it also because of Shane, because Shane tried to screw them and didn't count the 3 count. It wasn't Daniel's fault that he fell on top of Shane. He was pushed there by an incoming Kevin Owens to break up that first one. But that there's going to be repercussions. And this, to me, was probably the match of the night. The difference between this and the AJ Styles, which I'm going to say is number 2 match, is there was tension between not only the wrestlers, but the general manager and the commissioner of SmackDown. Now, I'm saying this in reality, thinking you got to think about this. This is going to be where Daniel Bryan actually starts to split away, and there's going to be a feud between Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan. Whether it's going to be like you got your wrestlers, I get my wrestlers, that type of thing, or like he's going to split SmackDown. They're going to split SmackDown. This is what I'm thinking. Which isn't a bad thing if it's done right, but because then you got well, I'm over here with these guys and you got those guys, and how about we settle this up and see who really is the better person, that type of thing. Or this could go down to Daniel Bryan actually being approved to wrestle, because every doctor he's went around the country and seen has said that he can wrestle, except WWE, the WWE doctor that Vince McMahon will listen to. That's the only one that hasn't said anything. And I think that he may be finally getting that approval to where maybe he might be able to start coming back to wrestle. And if so, that to me that'll be probably the biggest thing, if he can change his wrestling style to where he doesn't get hurt, which he says he has been working on. Yeah, Chase, big smiles. Okay, the final match of the night, AJ Styles versus Jinder Mahal. It was a good match. It wasn't the best match. It was a good match. But it seemed a little... It seemed like they were trying to make Jinder better than he is. I never liked Jinder. I don't think he's a good wrestler. I think he's sloppy. I don't like his technique. I don't like how he hits hard. Because he actually endangers the people he wrestles with. That's my opinion. I mean, before he came to SmackDown, he actually gave Finn Balor concussion from an elbow, or from a forearm. You got to pull that. You got to make sure that you don't hurt people. And when you hurt people, you shouldn't get rewarded. And he got rewarded, and I never thought that was right. But they seem to try to be pushing him when everybody knows that he isn't anything, and everybody knows that Jinder's not that great. The only reason why Jinder was champion is because they were going into India, and when they figured out that India wasn't the market they thought it was going to be, they pulled it from Jinder and gave it to AJ. AJ will carry it until either John Cena comes back to compete with him, or John Cena goes to Raw, and then somebody else will step up to compete with AJ. But AJ is going to be your champion for a while. So I'm going to say because of that, and because they tried so hard to build him up, and it turned out to be a big letdown. He couldn't do anything by himself. They tried to show him, hey, I can do it by himself, and then in the end, they still had to have the Singh brothers come in and help him. And so it basically ruined everything that he did up until the Singh brothers helped. When he actually was doing it, they were doing a fairly good job at showing that he could do it until he couldn't. And then it went back to being, he's worthless. To me, at least in my eyes. So that's, the reason this is not the best match is specifically because Jinder lost it because of the Singhs. If the Singh brothers did not interfere, this probably would have won match of the night. If he would not have interfered, and it ended up being, a one-on-one, and Jinder lost. I think that might have been a better ending. But because of how they did it, I wasn't too I wasn't too keen on that. So in my opinion, it comes in at number 2 with the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn match coming in at number 1, followed closely by the New Day Uso match, well, the tag team fatal 4-way match. And then, of course, I think maybe the women's title, Baron Corbin's United States title, the Bludgeon Brothers would probably be my worst match of the night because there was nothing to it. They really didn't wrestle. They just beat him up outside the ring and then threw him in and pinned him. So to me, that was probably the worst match of the night. So the undercard even beat that one, which I actually think was better than the Bludgeon Brothers versus Breezango. So this was my opinion. If you guys have any questions or different opinions about any of these matches, go ahead and leave those in the comments below. Of course, this is for anybody who's watching this after the live stream, and for those who are in the live stream, because I'm actually going to end this. So if you guys want to comment, wait till it comes up and come back and comment on anything that you've seen that I've said. Maybe is different than what you said, or maybe maybe I said something you think is cool. Well, come back and let me know, or let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you all for joining me today, and as always, be nice to each other and dream on, dream out.